Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Barbeno's World. I've got some big plans for today, and I'm going to start a project that I think should last me at least 2 episodes. When it comes to smelting items in my world, I have 2 different furnace arrays. The first one is right here in my old base, and I think this has like 24 furnaces or something. And it smelts items at like just about hopper speed, so like 9,000 items per hour. And I've also got this other one which is upstairs in my castle right here, and this one only has 8 furnaces, so it would smelt less than 3,000 items per hour. Unfortunately, that big furnace over at spawn is a little bit unreliable because of the hopper minecarts. I think I made it a little bit bigger than that design really is supposed to handle. And this one, even though it is completely reliable, is incredibly slow. So basically my plan is to build a really big furnace array that's bigger than both of them and will also be 100% reliable. So yeah, to make a completely reliable furnace array, it's not really a good idea to use minecarts usually. So I found this design which is by Ilmango that is quite genius. It uses some redstone at the back to unlock hoppers in a way that only lets one item into each furnace at a time. And that just makes sure every single furnace has the same amount of items to make sure that the array is operating at the maximum efficiency. We can do a quick demo of this like this. And after a few seconds of the items filtering through the system, they should all turn on at once. There we go. And then as they smelt, everything ends up in here. The only problem with this is the 24 furnace array size of this thing is not going to be very good. Even though it's operating at full capacity. So I had to find a way to increase this in size without getting bottlenecked. So I came up with this. This is basically 4 of the 24 furnace arrays for a total of 96 furnaces. And I basically put them together using these item distribution systems, which have chests on top of a hopper minecart, which is inside of these blocks here. And that just makes it so any items that you put in these chests will get distributed between all of the 4 hoppers down here. So there should be items going down into all 4 of the arrays at the same speed. And I've also built 2 output chests here for all of the output, but I guess I could also merge it together somewhere in the middle, but that's not really important. Now that we have the main design, we just can build this in survival. But before we start on that though, I do want to prepare an area, and because this will be such a convenience thing, I need to make it close to my other builds. So I want to put it beside my castle right here in this big empty area. And if I'm building something here, I know it's going to need to be decorated nicely. So I've got a build planned out that should fit with the castle pretty nicely. Basically, I want to start by just building the floor of that build, and then building the smelter on top of that before doing the actual build. So let's start by building up that floor. Welcome back everyone. This floor was a pretty quick build, and it's not that large, but it's just big enough to fit the entire furnace array, I think. So now we should probably move on to collecting resources for the actual furnace array. But first I want to just point out that this entire floor is made out of full blocks, and I didn't cheap out and use top slabs. Okay, this is pretty lucky. I actually had a few hundred leftover hoppers from my gas farm. So I think we should be pretty fine on resources. I don't really need to collect much, so we can just go ahead and build the furnace array. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed that time lapse. The machine was quite a bit easier to build than I thought it would be, and I got it all done in about 1.5 hours. I have already tested this smelter, but I guess we can do one more demonstration just so I can show you that it's working. So basically you put the fuel in up here, but I don't have any fuel because I already put all my coal in the system. So now we can just put in our items to be smelted in the bottom chest. They all get distributed equally between these 4 hoppers and into here as well. After a few seconds, we should be able to see all of these furnaces turn on. Nice. And now they should all be smelting one item, and just when they finish up, another item should get put in. Nice. Now, as you can see, all of the outputs of the smelter are showing up in this chest here, and the other one over here. Perfect. Okay, I'm actually quite impressed with the speed that we've been able to get all of this done. So I think we should be able to get started on the actual build. But first, I need to address the problem with this floor going a little bit too high above the ground. So I'm going to try to terraform some dirt and stuff, just like I did over here. Alright, I've finished the first part of the terraforming, which was just adding the grass around here. And that went pretty well. I left this protrusion here because I want to add a tower to the building. So now I guess I just need to start adding the stone here for the cliffs. Alright, I've added the cliffs in, and now just to add a little bit more detail to them, I think there's a little bit more we can do. I can just replace some of these random blocks with andesite. And I can also put some cobblestone slabs around. I'm going to put them wherever there's an overhang, so it kind of looks like the weight of the cliff above it is kind of crushing down the stone. Very nice. And the last thing I can do is just put down some overhanging dirt and coarse dirt like this. Okay, I think we're done here now. Okay, I think it's finally time now to start the actual build. I've already added in a bunch of these spruce pillars around, and those are going to be the supports for the building. I've actually got this building mostly planned out, or at least a little bit planned out, and I've got a schematic that I can show like this, and I built all of this in creative, but it has a few things that I might change, like some asymmetries here, and I might change the positions of some of these posts and stuff. But yeah, this is kind of what it's supposed to look like. Alright, so since I don't have the build like block for block planned out, I'm gonna try building it a little bit more the traditional way instead of kind of like 3D printing it down in a time lapse. So I'm gonna start by doing the frame here, and that's just gonna involve building up all of these pillars with the spruce logs. I'm still going to use the schematic as a bit of a guide though, so I know how tall to make stuff and that sort of thing. Alright, progress update time. I've spent quite a while on the outline of the building, and you can see that it is coming together. From here, you can get a good size comparison with the castle. It's going to be quite a big building, obviously not as big as the castle, but I guess comparable. Now that we've got the basic outline in for all of the walls, it should actually be pretty simple for me to just go around and build up these walls up to the top of the building, and also be adding a little bit more texture with stairs and stuff, but it shouldn't be too hard. Alright, I was gonna start on those walls, but unfortunately I'm entirely out of stone. So I actually used my cobblestone generator a little bit, and I've got 4 shulkers of cobble, and I'm just gonna go smelt up all of that cobble in my furnace array. I'll put in some extra blaze rods if it runs out of fuel. Alright, the walls are coming along quite well. It doesn't look like I did much here, but I think I'm done most of the more precise detail-y bits with the stairs like this. So now basically all I've got to do for the rest of the walls is just to spam blocks down to fill up all the holes. Okay, there we go. It definitely looks like it's coming together a lot more now, and I really didn't add that much. I just tried to fill in the walls with some stone and stone bricks. I'm not even done with the walls yet, it's just only partly filled in. Okay, I've went and completed the walls all the way around now, so I think now we can just start working on the roofs. Before we start on the main part of the roof, I want to add some of the decorative bits in. So we've got these wooden spiky things on top. I still don't know what they're called. On every other one of these pillars, we've just got 3 pieces of wood going up diagonally like this and some iron bars. So we'll skip this one and then do it again on this one. And then, once we finish the entire roof, those spiky bits will just be poking over. This is the last spiky bit here. Very nice. We've got all of the spiky bits in, going all the way around. And just one more thing before we start on the roof. I want to decorate the tops of this tower here, and that tower over there. Alright, let's put a floor in. Add some trapdoors here for decoration. And we can also put down some fences up here to enclose the area. Now, I think we're done with this. I'll add the roof later when I'm doing the rest of the roof. Okay, I've just finished up with the top room of this tower here. And I think we're on the home straight now. We just need to build up the roof, which is going to be just about the same as the roof for my castle. I'm going to use prismarine and dark prismarine, as well as some bone blocks on top, like I did right here. I don't have very much prismarine at the moment, but hopefully what I've got in these 2 shulkers should give me a pretty good start on those roofs. I've got the roof mostly planned out in the schematic, and the majority of it's pretty simple. It's just random stairs in lines. At the corners, though, it starts to get a little bit more tricky because of the weird asymmetrical stuff that I've done here. So it's starting to be a little bit more difficult to follow. Okay, there we go. I've finished the whole first row of the roof. Now we just need to continue this up a few more blocks, and then we also have some extensions to the roof, like this extra arch here, and we've also got an extension back here. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I finished up the entire outside of the building. I kind of just got a little bit carried away with it and finished the entire build off camera, but I think it looks very nice. I basically just filled in the stairs all the way up to the top level here and put bone blocks going across it like this, and it all looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I did run into some mild issues with like symmetry here. You can see that I have a 5-block gap here. And then most of them are 3 blocks, but I've got some 2 blocks here and 4 block here. This is at the back, so you won't really notice it, but it still kind of annoys me. Anyways, we can also now take a good look at the inside of it, which I've also been working on. In this entrance, we've built up some walls. We used some basalt and polished basalt for the walls. The basalt's coming up from the ground, so it looks like it's kind of dirtied from whatever was on the ground. And then at the top, there's the polished basalt. In the inside, we've kind of got some dim lighting coming from up here, and also some torches behind the furnaces. And yeah, this place is really nice looking. I also added a new way to access the top floor where I can input fuel and smelting stuff. Just with those minecarts, just like I used at my wool farm. And up here, we've got a small enclosed room with the input chest for the fuel and the smelting input. I did say that I thought this build would take me like 2 episodes at least to do, but surprisingly, I was able to finish it all or mostly in 1 episode. But I think because I still have a couple more things I might want to add to here, I'm going to end the episode now and save a little bit of that for the next episode maybe. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this really big project for 1 episode, and goodbye.
Barbeno's World, Barbeno's World.